Hi, this is Sajjad, welcoming you to this video of Nuke Learning. In this video, we are going to learn some basic compositing techniques and workflow in Nuke. We will learn how to use the merge node much deeper, how to do motion tracking in 2D and 3D, and even do a very simple luminance key and color correction all through this very simple sky replacement tutorial. Also, some other techniques that major VFX studios are using in everyday compositing to make their shots stand. So let's get started. This is the main plate. In this shot, I want to replace the sky, so as you can see, camera is rotating around 90 degrees. We want to replace it with a sky element. With my mouse here, hit S to go to Project Setting. This shot is from frame 1 to 492, but I have chosen frame range 330 to 482. You can see my timeline with the project settings selected options. This is the whole script that we have worked on, and this is the sky that we have replaced. Our focus is not on keying details. As you can see, we have problem here on the edges of trees, but at the end of this tutorial, you can understand how to fix these areas and get along. So we start by importing our plate. As you can see, I have the plate imported in an EXR format. In the beginning, when I received the footage, it was MPEG-4. I rendered it into EXR, although the EXR format is a bit heavy, but Nuke is much more comfortable working with EXR files, so I decided to convert this MPEG-4 file into EXR file. I wanted to show you this example because in this tutorial, we are focusing on sky replacement in 2D and 3D. I will show you how to remove the background or pixels of the shot that has a difference in brightness. But its neighbor pixels here are darker. These are the bright areas we can remove as a sky, and here are the buildings. And by watching this shot multiple times, I can see that our camera is rotating from right to left. So to tackle this problem, first, we are going to do the 2D replacement by creating a 2D sky, although it is a 3D camera rotating, but we will go to the 3D camera tracking and replace the sky in the 3D world too. So after converting our footage from MPEG-4 into EXR, the next step is to denoise the footage. Major VFX companies usually use Neat Video plugin. This is a very powerful plugin that creates a noise profile for the shot. If you have multiple shots in one sequence that needs to be denoised or degrained, this plugin can help you keep the consistency of the noise removal for the whole shots of the sequence. As this plugin is not free, I am not addressing it here. You can find video tutorials on YouTube about it. If you don't have this plugin, you can use Nuke Denoise Node instead. Hit Tab and type denoise. It gives you this error. It says, move the analysis region to an area that can be analyzed. I move it here and expand the size. By increasing the analyze region to its acceptable region, now we are ready to denoise the shot. The denoise node is a bit heavy, so I recommend you, after denoising your shot, render your shot again with denoise filter applied on it. So every time that you read your footage, it doesn't have to calculate everything. I have explained denoised in detail in other videos. After that, you need to have lens distortion. It's necessary for the time when you have CG in your shot. For example, if you want to put something here on the edge of this building, you need to have lens distortion. In major VFX companies, because some departments are working before the comp department, they do the denoise, lens distortion, and camera tracking. Then they share with you those data, so you can use these information to work on your shot. But if you are working as a freelancer or working for small VFX companies, you need to do it yourself. There are two versions of lens distortion here. There's an old version and there is the new version. In new version that is shipped with this version of my Nuke, if I go to Analysis, there is only Grid Detect. If I load in a sample grid I found on the internet, it shows that the camera and the lens that is being used on shooting day has this kind of distortion. It has a kind of fisheye lens. So to have the CG applied to this shot, you need to have lens distortion for this shot. In shooting day, you can print out a simple grid and put it in front of the camera. The same camera and lens that is going to be used on set and location. Then start shooting your footage. When done, in Comp, you have this lens grid data that we can apply to our CG. If I connect lens distortion and in the Analysis tab hit Detect, it will detect the lines. Hit Solve and it will give me the undistorted version. All the lines are supposed to be straight, but as I downloaded it as a sample from the internet and is not accurate and captured by my shooting camera, the distorted version is showing the result like this. I just want you to understand the workflow. For my shot, I don't have lens grid in front of the camera, so I have to use the old version of lens distortion to have more options, which is the version I prefer. By double-click, you can see that we have Image Analysis, Grid Analysis, and Line Analysis tabs, which are quite handy. To load this old lens distortion, hit X with the mouse in this area and type lens distortion just like this. L capital, D capital. When I hit OK, it gives me the old version of lens distortion. So I connect here and look through it. I already have done the lens distortion, so if I want to use this inside of my shot, I should apply lens distortion to the CG. Let me show you how it works. In this shot, I should find a frame that has straight lines like this, or this thing here. So go to the lens distortion, go to Line Analysis, click on Drawing Mode and start drawing. I click here, and click here. For having a straight line, you need to have at least 3 markers, then right-click to make a straight line. Then come here and create another line. And 1 line here. One here. One here. Maybe one here. And then hit Analyze Lines. You can see the distortion has been removed based on the lines I have created. Again, this node is a bit heavy. When you are doing the lens distortion, remove it from your comp and put it somewhere near your plate to use it later on your CG.